Anyways, guys, and that make me a little bigger. So chat, how's it going tonight? Oh shoot, everything closed. Open back up. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong. It's dying. Ba, 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 ba. Get my music up in the background. Ba, 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 ba. Purple cat. It's gonna be loud. Mon Hunter? Mon Hunter is not happening until tomorrow. I need my my what you call it. My new graphics card. When my new graphics card comes in tomorrow, we won't be streaming Monster Hunter tomorrow because tomorrow's movie night. But we will do it Tuesday, probably. I don't think I have anything scheduled for Tuesday. And I'm probably going to start over Monster Hunter from the beginning. But, chat, I do have a little thing we could talk about for a hot minute. It's kind of wild. Give me a sec. I have to, because I wasn't prepared for this, so I have to do like a bunch of clicking and whatnot. Yep, you're correct. Remove you, and you. Wrong thing. No, that's the right thing. So, you guys have probably heard of this. So this dropped just today, and this is wild. So there's this VTuber group that's apparently popping up now called Solar Live, which this is their page right here. And I can't stress this enough. Do not go like harass these people at all. But Solar Live literally just kind of dropped today, or like a couple days ago. I know it says May 2023, but they look like they just kind of fell in people's laps today. And they did with this wonderful post. Have you ever wanted to join a VTuber group but couldn't because of being a minor? Hi, with Solar Live, this group was founded to help the more underrepresented part of the VTuber community, like minors, LGBTQ, and POC VTubers. We currently have 8 lovely members, which all are adopt, but we take in-house VTubers too. We help with management, assets, and branding. Unfortunately, though, Solar Live isn't a company and doesn't have any funds. All the artist and manager working with us are doing it voluntarily. If you are interested about joining as a member or even staff, you are in luck. We are soon opening up our auditions both, so stay tuned. So, people could pick out the obvious issues here. We've talked about this before. Minors should really not be in this space. It's genuinely just kind of a bad idea. It's not good. And they could be lying about this, but I think I will take their word for it, because this is something stupid a minor would do. They mentioned down here, to make it clear, this group was founded by minors for minors. I would have to see the other tweet, but they claim the oldest person involved in this is 19 years old. This is a shit show waiting to happen. It's a bunch of minors trying to be content creators and trying to manage each other. That can only go wrong. Like, look, I understand the, that, like, because when you're younger, right, you see your favorite YouTubers, you want to be like them, right? I understand that. But there's a reason we don't let minors be content creators. Especially, oh my god, I didn't notice this over to the side here. in my Explorer, debate over minors in VTuber community, Solar Live's role. Here, I'll pop that up in a second thing and we'll read through some of those. But like I said with my tweet about this, is even if like this was okay, which I don't really think it is, but even if it was, advertising that all of your members are minors is just a giant neon sign that says "Come groom us." Like, that's just... it's not gonna go well. You can't advertise that you're a child on the internet. That the only people that attracts are the bad people. The worst kind of people are going to like look at this and be like, yeah, no. And I think, like, their clarification that the group was founded by minors was to try and, like, head off the criticism, because some of the criticism was, this seems like a predator trying to collect minors. But assuming they're telling the truth, and their oldest member is 19, that's still a problem. The problem is the minors in the business. It's not who's running the business necessarily. It's just one way makes the business look like predators, and the other way makes the business look like idiots. But on their profile here, they have their lineup of characters here. And I will say, I had to agree with people, I am not a fan of some of these designs being for minors. Particularly this one. Again, supposedly everybody in here is... given that one of them said they're 19, all of them are under the age of 19. So having some of these be like as sexualized as they are, I'm like, nah, bro, nah, that's not cool. Oh, here, I'll do the full one so you guys can see the whole thing. My bad. Oh, you can almost see the whole thing. That's close enough. But, like, it's... no, it's not good. Not a good idea. And then under Discover More, it's just more of them. What's the... I'm not supposed to click that because I'm not supposed to show, like, the community notes thing. If I get in trouble. Here, one sec. I'll see if there's anything interesting in it. All the note says is the VTuber space is 18 plus. The biggest agencies don't hire minors because they can be persecuted by law doing so. That's not necessarily true. One of the most notable examples being Akio Air, who hired a minor. Minors shouldn't be in the VTuber space. This is a not very good note. Like, minors shouldn't be in the VTuber space, but they just linked like a random VTuber saying no minors. And then they linked Akio Air, which... Akio Air didn't get in legal trouble. People just thought they were dicks, and they shouldn't do it. It's a very different thing. Let's look at some engagements. What are people saying about it? There's Arden. Numerous reasons why groups like this with minors in it don't and should not exist. This kind of group shouldn't have been considered being made. There are too many ways this can go bad. Even if the creator does as right as possible, this shouldn't be made at all. It's really weird to specifically name minors, LGBT, and POC all in the same breath, like they're trying to say minors are an oppressed minority that should be accessible or something. They are trying to say minors are an oppressed minority. However, I have heard stupid kids say this before. Well before the recent stuff, I have heard dumb kids claim that they are an oppressed minority, and that adults are like some overbearing majority. This is a dumb belief that some kids just have. Minors, POC, LGBT. Oh, God, I'm tired, sorry. Every single person involved in this will end up on a watch list is already on a watch list or will be in charge of observing and putting people in this group on one of said watch list. Can't wait for the Google Docs, though. Just a shocked face. Minors do not belong in the VTuber sphere, full stop. This is the sketchiest group I've ever heard of, and since you're combining minors and LGBT, I can only suspect your actual intention is to groom minors, and this is a Trojan horse like everything else subversive in that group. Did it just shoot back up? What happened? They're not even trying with this one. Outside of the minors thing that everyone is going to talk at length, POC are underrepresented when 3/4 of VTubers are in some way Asian descent. This is why Europeans, South Americans, Africans, and Asians make fun of Americans. Like, seriously. Minors do not belong in the VTube space. The internet is already unsafe for minors, and this is putting them in an unnecessary dangerous position. Hell, even grown adults, it can be dangerous space, which is why we have to take so many precautions. I don't think minors should be VTubers, especially be VTubers with revealing designs. What are y'all thinking? Not gonna lie, if you tell me your favorite VTuber group is the one where everyone is a minor, I'm gonna be suspicious as fuck. Also, this could be ran by some 50-year-old creep just saying they're a minor and doing it to get close to kids. This place isn't safe for this shit, man. Yeah, that's a fair point, too. Like, they could just be lying. My point is, and why I don't like it when people kind of harp on the lying thing, is if I assume they are not lying, it's still not good. Right? Like, you don't have to accuse the group of lying in order for there to be a problem. There's already a problem. So it's just, that part's just kind of whatever for me. Trying to tell your VTuber group as a place that has minors and adults as talents is terrifying. When will VTuber agencies groups learn that VTubing can sometimes be extremely dangerous and predatory over minors? I'm sorry, chat. I keep yawning. I don't know why. I'm so tired. Are still there in my position? It still looks bad? Yeah, I'm trying to steelman it, but I'm steelmanning it to point out that, like, no matter what, this is bad. Like, the best case scenario is still bad. Well, okay, no. So, the best case scenario is mom and dad are over their shoulder signing off on everything, right? I think this is how some of the... There was, like, a YouTube toy channel that was huge, and that's how it was the kid had, like... He was into videos, but he had no control over the YouTube. His mom and dad handled literally everything. They handled the comments, they handled the uploads, they did like all of that stuff. I think that's probably best case scenario. And in that case, I still don't like it. I think I've said this before, but I really don't like kids on the internet. I don't think they have the forethought to like see like what they say will affect them in the future, like really far down the line. We see it a lot with kids that get like famous off the internet, that their school life just becomes hell, and things don't work out for them in that regard. For that, I don't think I just don't think it's gonna work. Also, real quick, I gotta edit my title. I cannot be edited. Ugh. I can edit it from the channel though, I think, right? Just chatting. And copy paste this into my YouTube one. I'm sorry, chat, I'm just taking a minute. So people kind of tuning in aren't caught off guard that we're not playing Demonologist. Which again, I'm sorry it didn't work. There we go. I don't know, demonologist seems pretty appropriate for this subject. Fair point, fair point. This is so dangerous considering how many fans of VTubers are outspoken lolicon. Oh my god. Fuck off. There is a VTuber group trying to, like, bring in a bunch of actual minors, and your first thing is the lolicons put children at risk. Fuck off. Fuck you. We are putting minors in touch with the LGBT community, not because we are pedos, but because we are forward thinkers. I don't always agree with that kind of stuff. There's a reason why minors are underrepresented. I can't help but feel concerned that there's yet another group that is trying to bring in minors. You're putting a target on your backs. Yes, that is always the biggest issue, is putting a giant target on all the kids' backs, saying, by the way, all of these people are underage. I know, that's why I'm not reading his name. I don't like to get into any issues. Oh my god. Rape post community note just popped up on all of them. I don't like to get into any issues, but I genuinely believe that being a VTuber, not a safe space for minors, and you shouldn't be encouraging that. Is it bad? I actually think it's good that minors are underrepresented. No, that's appropriate. Oh yeah, having a VTubing community where minors in the LGBT exist is such a good idea, because that worked out great before. I don't agree with the, like, oh, the LGBT thing. Like, there's a lot of... LGBT covers, like, a lot of people. I think people forget that. Made by minors for minors, don't believe you. I am kind of on the fence about believing them or not. Because on the one hand, this sounds like something a bunch of stupid kids would come up with and think it was a good idea. But on the other hand, I could see an adult pretending to do this. 100%. The problem is it could go either way for me. In reality, I don't think it matters. I think they're both bad. One of the worst ideas I read in a long time. Being a minor in a content creator / VTuber space is bad and unhealthy idea, but an entire agency will attract all the wrong people. Also, monetizing your hobby often ruins your hobby, so doing that while being young is bad. Time to have this talk. I guess if minors belong in the VTuber space or not. Short answer, as viewers, it depends. As streamers, hell no. Long answer, I personally believe minors shouldn't be making content on the internet until they are no longer minors. I can agree with that. Minors are underrepresented in MMA. We need to change this. What's happening? A VTuber group is trying to... they're trying to make a VTuber group of just underage kids, which is obviously not going over well. I see 3 designs here I wouldn't want anywhere near a kid. Awful idea, terrible idea. Genuinely do not know what went through your head going, children are so underrepresented offline. Please log off and do your homework. I have no idea why Twitter is just doing that to me. Honestly, with the designs, I think the only ones I particularly have problems with are the orange-haired tan girl and the black cat girl. I think these two are the only ones that are particularly over-sexualized. If we're really nitpicking, the first one might be a bit, and this third one might be a bit. But realistically, I think it's just this one and this one. And honestly, I think the orange hair here is the worst offender. Mostly because, like, the over-presence of the breast and the way they're shaped. This one's definitely the worst offender. Because I could still see, like, a teenager sort of wearing this. I know there were some girls at my school when I was in high school that wore crap like this. They probably shouldn't. It's a little too revealing. But at least I've seen it. This is just straight up like a weird lingerie fetish thing. Remember that the IRL, not safe for work, industry hates 2D because actors are losing demand to it. The industry will attack anything adjacent. I was about to make a joke about minors being underrepresented in war, but realized that'll get really spicy. Chat, remember, it's the Geneva Suggestions. I like this one. Just how about no? Saying that you guys are minors for minors can and will attract the wrong people, and who's to say that the person founded this is actually a minor and not some 40-year-old dude who will try and prey on the vulnerabilities of underage people. Oh, so that's, I don't know why I didn't think of this at the start, but having a manager in this situation that is not an adult is almost worse than if everybody's a kid. Because then you don't have an adult in this situation that's managing this stuff and preventing the actual pedos from, like, getting a hold of these kids. I have to heavily debate what's worse. If, having an adult running this is worse, or having another kid running this is worse. I think they're both pretty bad in their own unique way, honestly. This is just the finger point. As someone who's groomed online as a minor, this seems like a bad idea. Founded by minors for minors. Right. The implications are all bad. Yeah, there's no way where this is good. So what is this? Okay, first I have to check it and make sure that, like, there's no, like, not safe for work stuff in it immediately. Okay, it's not bad. Last updated an hour ago, a VTuber group, Solar Live, which claims to be created by minors for minors, has sparked debate on social media regarding the appropriateness and safety of minors in the VTuber community. Critics express concern over the potential dangers, such as predation and inappropriate exposure, while supporters highlight the group's intent to create a supportive, safe space for young VTubers. What supporters? In that entire list, we did not see a single person that was like, yeah, this is a great idea, guys. What supporters? Where? Was that just thrown in there to make it sound like a little more neutral? Debate on social media. Wait, this is a debate? Where's the opposing argument? Exactly. Where's the other side? I haven't seen a single person that was like, yeah, this is a great idea, bro. Here, well, let's look for it. Maybe they mistake stuff like this for support, because it says I'm all for inclusivity and wanting to provide a space for it, but minors don't belong in the VTuber space. I'm wondering if it's getting confused with stuff like this first line and ignoring that the second line is, yeah, no, though. ChatGPT statement, I guess. Hot take, minors shouldn't be allowed in the VTuber space. Considering you mentioned you're founded by minors, I wouldn't trust minors to know how to keep other minors safe. Exactly. VTubing space is not minor friendly. We'll stand by that. Even as an adult in my 20s, I've experienced creeps, seen gore via hate raids, and gained a myriad of self-image issues I would not have had the tools to deal with as a minor. It's bad in every way. I feel like minors should not be VTubing. Hear me out. If you're like 14, etc., people are overly sexualize you in your VTuber model. Please at least have a supervisor. This can turn bad quickly. No minors, no minors. No minors. It's terrifying to consider the fact before the post, nowhere was it stated that... shoot. It's terrifying to consider the fact that before the post, nowhere was it stated that this group had minors. An adult could have unknowingly been talking to a minor and would not have known. Besides the fact minors should not be normalized in the VTubing space. Hey, look, there's my tweet. No minors, no minors, no minors. No minors. I'm not seeing anybody that's, like, supporting this. Yeah, there's, like, no positivity regarding this. Yeah, no, that ends the list. In the list they provided, not a single one was positive. Nothing. cat girl dresses like a regular Brazilian teenager. Brazil is a special case. Things like Barney the Dinosaur with VTubers is an endeavor that I am morbidly curious to watch. Anyone trying to support this would just out themselves? Possibly. I think there's a world where somebody is dumb enough to think this is a good idea. But realistically, they should not. I don't get it, chat. I don't know, what do you guys think? I'm assuming we're all on the same page here that it's not good. Confused, but apparently anything can happen in this damn world, and it's putrid. Yeah. It's just, it's a bad idea. Let's see really quick. After thinking about it, I can believe the organization is being run by minors because the concept is so dumb. I believe only idiot minors would try it. Yeah, that's my point. I'm kind of the thought that it could go either way. It could be a predator adult. It could be a very stupid adult. Or it could be another minor. I think ultimately it's just a bad idea. It shouldn't be done. Also, again, chat, I'm sorry that stream broke. And I don't really have like a huge amount of plans for tonight. I will crop this part out and upload it as its own like little video. So I think that's fair. I was planning after the stream to do like a quick 10-minute video on this anyways and not even stream about it and just be like, here's a video. But it's okay. Oh, I will add this as a follow-up to my Kirsch thing, where me and Lumi talked about Kirsch's POCD video. The place I did not expect to understand what POCD was seemed to get it like fairly accurately. They were still wrong about some things, but they didn't even like dismiss it. They seemed to acknowledge that it was a very real thing, which blows my mind because both Rev and Kirsch read the POCD article and came to the conclusion it was just like pedo sympathizing. And out of everybody who could have like read those articles and been like, yeah, this sounds like a real thing that people could have, I did not expect it to be fucking Turkey Tom. Who constantly talks about how like, this person's a lolicon, they're probably a pedo. Of all the people to read those articles and be like, yeah, no, this sounds like a real thing, did not expect it to be him. And I saw it because he released a video. Did he release it today? It might have been today that he released the video. Look, despite every issue I have with Turkey Tom, I still like watching some of his videos because like it just gives me new perspectives on crazy people. Yeah, it was released today. It was Pamper Chew's Horrifying History full documentary. And at one point in the video, he's talking about like some of the stuff this absolute weirdo degenerate is saying. And he says, if I were to steal man, or he says something along the lines of, if I were to give him the ultimate benefit of the doubt, I would say it sounds like he could have POCD. And then he explains the condition fairly well. The only thing he particularly gets wrong is he establishes it as like something that only really happens if you're abused as a child and you're afraid of becoming the abuser as an adult, which is not necessarily true. You can just have it. It doesn't necessarily have anything to do with whether or not you were abused as a kid. It's a OCD thing. It can just develop. That's the only part he gets wrong, though. And he even, like, it seems to acknowledge that it's a real thing. And that he doesn't necessarily believe this guy has it, but that's probably, like, the best steel man he could do for this weirdo. Pretty bad when there are people that make Turkey Tom look reasonable. Exactly. It threw me off when I heard him say it, and I was like, there's what? I expected you to say like it was some crazy pedo cope like Kirsch did, but he's like, nope, it's a thing. It's like, okay, fine. I credit where it's due, I guess, bro. I'm semi proud of you for taking it seriously, I guess. Also, if you're not used to like horror cows, I would not watch the documentary. It is a rough one. It's not as bad as Toad McKinley's Zooier Than Thou stuff, or whatever he called it. I can't remember the actual name he did for the series. It was called Uniquely Degenerate. So it's not on the level of Uniquely Degenerate by Toad McKinley. It's still pretty bad. Still waiting for the horrible fallout of the curse stream to drop. I don't think she's gonna say anything. I think she acknowledges that like I'm a small content creator off in my corner and I don't matter. Like, yeah, if you look at my the comments of my stream, there's some people that kind of turned on Kirsch a little bit, but they were people that had already turned on her from her own stream. I don't necessarily think I changed any minds. I think everybody that likes Kirsch still likes Kirsch, and everybody that had already changed their mind had done it before me. So I think it's whatever. And I think Kirsch knows it would be dumb to even reply to me, because I'm too small to care about, honestly. Like, I don't talk about big creators to, like, try and get a reaction or something. I talk about them for two main reasons. The first one is because they have, like, a big platform. So when they say something wrong, it gets spread to a lot more people than necessary. And the other one is because I feel bad swinging at smaller creators, particularly people like way below my belt, because I am worried. Like, I love you guys, I do, but I do know there are a couple people in my community that will like really harangue a person, and I don't want to send that to somebody like smaller than me that can't deal with it. You know what I mean? Again, that's nothing against like 99% of you. Like, almost all of you are fantastic. I just know for a fact I have a couple people that follow me that won't listen to me. So it's kind of whatever. I was kind of worried she'd bring it up on SS since she was on it less than a week later, but she never did. By this point, I don't think it's going to come up. Yeah. Surprisingly, a lot of people who expressed disagreement in Kirsch's comment section, IMO, that's healthy. Yeah, that's fair. To avoid them turning themselves into grums where every other statement is half wrong or a correction. You know, I used to like grums. I don't think I liked grums because of what he said. I think I liked grums because I really liked Firefall. And I super enjoyed it. I thought it was a fantastic game, and I was always upset that it just kind of died out so quickly. So I had, like, I guess semi-faith that, what do you call it? EM8ER or something? M8er? I don't know how it's supposed to be said. So I had, like, minor hope that that game would be, like, kind of my Firefall resurrection to a degree, and it just, it's never gone anywhere. I miss that game. It was good. Like, it had a really good concept, and it needed a little more time, and I think it would have found its stride, but it didn't. It's okay. Some things I love are just meant to die. He mentioned it again recently in regards to AI development. It's probably dead. I don't even know what he's doing with it at this point, honestly. The thing is, I never followed him. He was one of those people that I got like weird vibes off of, so I never actually followed them. But I was hoping that, like, as a game dev, I would get like another Firefall out of him, and that clearly didn't happen. Oh, now while I wait for some of your chats to come in, let me see if I can find it. Okay, here it is. I kind of wanted to talk about this because I thought it was stupid. What is it? You know what? Before we do move on to that, I want to show you guys the trailer for Firefall, because it kind of conveys the idea, and I'm pretty sure I'll be fine to show it. Is this the right one? No, this is... I want this one. Might have to adjust the volume a bit. This is admittedly the cinematic trailer, but...
Okay, pack up and regroup at drop site.
Roger that. I'm coming in.
Hey, call in the Thumper.
Echo Bravo 984. Extraction site secured. Over.
That'll keep the bugs out.
Approaching drop site, package en route.
So the concept is, it's taken from a couple different games, but the idea is you and a little squad of people would drop in these thumpers, which I think are vaguely based off the thumpers from Dune, except instead of scaring the monsters away, it attracts them, and the thumpers start yanking resources out of the ground, and your goal is to protect them.
Right on schedule.
Turret 3's out. 1 in 5 are down. Just lost 4.
Yeah, Firefall had a fantastic concept, and they just they tried too much. Well, what do you say? They flew too close to the sun, is the saying. It's just it could have been really good, but they wanted too much. Truly, it was a Firefall. Yeah, but it was it was kind of an MMO shooter. Uh, I think MMO shooter is probably the best way to describe it. You're showing us an MMO trailer to drum up more interest in tomorrow's movie night. Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, I do a movie night every Monday, and last week we started watching Log Horizon, which I did not realize that, because it's been a long time since I watched it, that Log Horizon Season 1 and 2 have 25 episodes each, which for an anime is actually kind of out there. Normally, animes get like 12 episode one-shots, and then they just get taken out to pasture. MMO doesn't work as shooters. I think with Firefall, it worked pretty well. Like somebody in chat mentioned, the problem was they wanted to do too much. They didn't want it just to be a PvE MMO. They wanted to have like this big breathing world, and they wanted to make it like a PvP based game, and it didn't work. You can't do all that with it. Log Horizon was so good, author did time for tax evasion. Yeah, so unfortunately I found this out when we were looking up some stuff for the stream. So there's Log Horizon Season 1 and 2. There's Season 3, which was, it looks like it was put out by Funimation, which, ick. And then during the airing of Season 3, the studio, or the publisher that was handling Log Horizon, dropped it. And it's because the interest from him being gone for so long just didn't come back. So it just, they didn't want to keep putting money into it. So unfortunately, from what it looks like, Log Horizon Season 3 is the ending, which actually covers everything in the manga light novel. So it's just done. It kind of ends on a semi-cliffhanger. Apparently the author isn't necessarily writing on it anymore, which is, it's okay, I guess, if he wants to move on to other projects, but it sucks. But there's another game I wanted to talk about, and some of you probably saw, like, I made a vague tweet about this one. But there's this game that came out recently that's doing very well, called Split Fiction. And for some reason, like, Dextero really wanted to highlight him getting one guide by a YouTube comment from 2 months ago. You can see this YouTube comment. It's 2 months ago from a bunch of numbers name. It just says, another feminism propaganda-soaked game, walk on. And it has 8 likes. He let himself get one guide.
What is this? I guess that somebody are reacting that there are 2 women. Let me say this. In Brothers, there were 2 guys. In A Way Out, there were 2 guys. In It Takes Two, there were 1 guy, 1 woman. And now there are 2 girls and everybody's complaining. Come on, man. I mean, let's face it, man. And it's also like based on my daughters. I don't care what you have between your legs. That's totally not interesting for me. Good characters is what's important.
So my issue is, he goes, everybody's complaining. No, it's like literally one random ass comment. Nobody's complaining. Nobody cares. And I think this is where some devs end up kind of shooting themselves in the foot. Where, like, somebody tells them, oh, your game is woke, and they suddenly feel like a need to go on a rant about it. Like, no, just say they're dumb. Not everything. I said this the other day, and I said it in relation to VTubers. Not everything needs a response. one guy on YouTube with 8 upvotes does not need a response, especially when you released games that are like in Game of the Year territory, right? Like at a certain point you are so big that one person literally does not matter. Not woke, the last game was kind of gay, but that's another thing. I never saw what It Takes Two was. And people are falling for it. Like, you have people like this now showing up. Every right-wing grifter under the sun was pissing and shitting themselves because of Split Fiction being a cringe woke DEI game. But sure, now that it's successful, they forget that part. I have never heard anyone refer to this as a woke DEI game until this interview and this one YouTube comment. Literally never heard anyone say it before. This is the first time, and the only time I've heard it said is coming from the developer's mouth. So I don't know what they're doing. It's a dumb idea. You're looking like a jackass. Wouldn't do it. He's known for being a loose cannon that responds to everyone. I actually didn't know that. Don't even know the game or heard its name until now. Here, I will really quick. We can watch the trailer for it. Because, admittedly, I think it looks interesting. No, not the story trailer. Here we go.
Oh my god! I'm not doing this! Push the button! No!
Hey guys, this is Hazelight's next co-op adventure. I'm so excited about our new game that I want to give you one more sneak peek. Have a look at this. In this level, Mio and Zoe are stuck in one of Mio's sci-fi stories. This one is all about gravity and how to defy it using the tools provided by Mio's story.
Hop on! Wait!
But there's also a crazy bike chase. And of course, a badass boss. Okay, here's another one. Now they're in one of Zoe's fancy stories,
I'm a fairy!
where they can shapeshift
What the?
into various fantastic creatures, each with its unique set of abilities to help them get to the next level. At Hazelight, we really love gameplay variety. That's why we added side stories that are completely different from the main path. Side stories are found in the main levels and looks like a portal. Once you enter, you end up in a new world.
Fascinating.
For example, how about flying around in space? Or ride on a sandfish in the desert? And why not water ski behind the train? So just trust me when I say this. This is side content you don't want to miss.
Really? What?
Yeah, so somebody in chat kind of mentioned it, but the thing I like about it is they're one of the few devs that really keep like this split screen co-op thing going. And I think I know there's a lot of games that do like the 4 people go into like a mansion and get scared or whatever. I think there's something special to 2-player co-op. And maybe that's just me because I grew up with a brother. So we always played split screen co-op together in games. I remember we both played the crap out of a game called Army of Two, and it was split screen. He'd do one guy, I'd do the other guy. And it's a different feeling when it's just like you and a friend doing a split screen game versus you and a group of people doing like, you know, like a Phasmophobia or a Demonologist or stuff like that. I think it's it was a cool idea. Halo 2 player, baby. Yeah, exactly. Like, I thought it was cool. I get if it's not your cup of tea. I have to admit, like, for me, it was because I had a family member, so that we would co-op together. So maybe there's like a bit of nostalgia there for me, that other people just don't have. But for me, I still do have that nostalgia. Split screen is a dying art form, yeah. It's a different feeling versus, like, you know, playing massively multiplayer games. I do miss 2 players co-op games. Today, all games are either 4 co-op or MMO Lite. Yeah, that's what I mean. I think it's different when it's just you and one other person. And it's very lately, a lot of stuff is coming back that's like you and one other person game. I also think it's easier to play when it's just you and one other person, because I don't have to, like, scrounge up a group of friends in order to play a game. I just need to find one friend who's free right now, and that's it. And I think that's a lot better. It's a lot easier to get around. But it's okay. Four players, someone is getting the beat to shake controller. The game does split screen very well. It has a seamless transition. One screen with both characters, 2 screen with one character. Quite intense to play too. I just wouldn't pay for it right now because I already got Monster Hunter Wilds. And Monster Hunter Wilds is my big game purchase for, like, the next couple months. I don't normally do big game purchases. I do, like, severely discounted games. So for me, unless it's on, like, a Steam 95% discount, I'm just not touching it. Or if it's just naturally a cheap game, like if it's naturally like a $5 game and it looks interesting enough, I'll pick it up. Some popularity for the 2-player setup. There were a bunch of VTuber collabs on the previous games from these guys. Oh, 100%. There's a reason It Takes Two, I think, won Game of the Year. Not Game of the Year necessarily, but it won, like, a multiplayer Game of the Year or something. I forget what it got. I did have one more thing I wanted to touch on, but I'm not remembering it off the top of my head. It's in there somewhere. It's rattling around in my brain. Oh, since this is sort of about the DEI woke stuff anyways, did you see a bunch of people trying to claim that everybody was saying Monster Hunter was DEI woke because, like, one guy said so? It wasn't even like one big guy, it was just one random ass person. And they were trying to say it because there's, like, a village of black characters that are a bit, like, on the chubbier side. But it doesn't matter. Also, thank you for the raid, Pink Flat Flamingo. It's nice to see you. I heard something about it. Yeah, there were a couple people saying it, and I was like, I think one of the people I saw trying to push it, who is, like, again, a small person, I shouldn't respond, but I did anyways, was trying to say that Capcom made all the women ugly. And I was like, have you seen, like, previous Monster Hunter games? They're not... Capcom is not exactly on the forefront of pretty women in Monster Hunter. Like, they never have been. There are, like, every Monster Hunter game, there's, like, 1 or 2 pretty women, and that's it. Like, in Rise, you had the 2 Wyverian twins. In Wilds now, we have Gemma. In World, I think the only one I would really consider, like, pretty woman territory was... What was it? It was the 2nd or 3rd... lady that came in. I forget what they called them for some reason. It was the head of like the second or third scouting party, which was this lady, and I think she was like in a purple dress, and she was always smoking. Like, she was hot, but I think in Worlds she was the only one. Monster Hunter 4 was the last Monster Hunter with only pretty women. I didn't play 4, so maybe... Oh no, wait, I did play 4. 4 was on the DS. That was the one I played on the DS, and I couldn't figure it out. It was just really confusing for me. Yeah, no, I can agree some of these women are pretty. Wilds have some bangers. I would argue the main girls are all pretty. Oh yeah, so I think with the actual warrior girl in your main entourage in Wilds, she's an acquired taste. I know people are gonna think she's hot. For me, she's like a very heavily acquired taste. But Gemma is definitely hot, and your what do you call them? Your like handler, she's hot too. Alma, I think was her name. There are people who are so jaded by the aggressive push of DEI in games that they'll jump at everything. Yeah. Point of Monster Hunter is to hunt monsters. I do not care about women. I care a little bit. I would like my handler to be hot. If you're going to force me to have a handler, I would like her to be hot. And then the other thing I had replied to this person with was the literally the very first outfit you get a hold of for the frog is a crop top. Like, they always show like the most covered up armor available, but there's tons of armor in Monster Hunter, in every Monster Hunter, that are like long flowy dresses, that are like crop tops. You have the bone armor, which is almost naked. I don't know if they brought back the Kieran armor, because I don't think the Kieran is in Wilds. But the Kieran armor is very famous for being almost naked. Like, that's just how Monster Hunter is. That's how it's always been. It's the main thing, no? You can have ugly characters as long as you have some pretty ones. The problem with recent games, it was all ugly or mannish women. I get that. My thing with Monster Hunter, though, is they've just never been good at, like, making characters pretty. They just tend to kind of make everybody ugly. Like, and I get it. I think it's just how they have, like, the game made. Because I even think in Worlds, they wanted the handler... Or, sorry, World. In World, I think they wanted the handler to be kind of attractive, but she just ended up looking derpy and weird. Random double tap DRM pisses me off. Oh, yeah, no, that's always annoying. For those of you who don't know, Wilds has both de novo in it and apparently their own proprietary software. I will say, I saw somebody on Twitter try to say that, oh, they added de novo anti-cheat and there's still cheaters everywhere. Just so we're clear, I think de novo has an anti-cheat option, but de novo isn't inherently anti-cheat. That's an extra option I think they charge companies for that requires games to be always online if you use it. Which Monster Hunter Wilds is not always online, so I'm pretty sure the de novo anti-cheat isn't active. De novo is primarily an anti-piracy measure, not an anti-cheat measure. It's very different. Monster Hunter, I think, still doesn't care about cheats. It's kind of whatever. Rise had the cute shrine maidens. Yeah, the Wyverian twins. Who, by the way, lay eggs, just so we're all clear. Opposite of the Chinese Resident Evil you played a while back. The handler on World was purposely made uglier. I know because I saw the alpha version that was changed to be one of the side characters in the full game. I don't know if she was necessarily made to be uglier. I think she ended up uglier, but I don't think they intended that. Because I remember, like, there was an interview with, I think, some of the developers where they were confused why people thought she was ugly. I think they're just dumb. Or they have very specific acquired taste. Bring Yomagi into every game if I could. Actually, don't think I've seen her. Here, we'll Google it. Oh, yeah, no, her. I remember her. She's cute. She did your cooking, right? The little mochi ball things. Dengo, yeah, that was it. It was Dengo balls. But chat, that's really all I have. You know, like man thing? What? But yeah, tomorrow is movie night, and then Tuesday we'll start over Monster Hunter from the beginning, so it's like actually good quality. I don't know how to play, but I might do Hunting Horn. But my friend also said they would teach me Gun Lance, and I've always wanted to learn Gun Lance. But I hope you guys have a good night. Before I go, I did want to show you guys. So I have a secret second account that my manager hates me talking about. But I have an artist making me a new banner for it. I want to get you guys' thoughts on this secret new banner. What do you guys think of my new Twitter banner? I think it looks good. I kind of want this on Mizu, this tattoo, which I need to think about it with my artist. If I do, it might be blue, like everything else is, or I might have to find like another color for it. I think it's nice though. I love the womb tattoos. I still want one for me. And look, it's a little anchor. I thought it was very clever. Doesn't Twitter ban you for sexual banners? Be careful. There is a banner of one of the Phase Connect girls where it's just her panties, like with her ass in it, and something on it that says like "Slap the Irish." Like they let it slide. I think hips aren't that sexual if hers isn't that sexual. I think I'm allowed. I am allowed. But even if Twitter does, I'll just I'll upload it on the other site and I'll save it. Either way, I think it looks nice, so I want to keep it. But I love you all. I need to turn this down. Why is it so loud suddenly? Yeah, you can send me the pic of your hunter. But I hope you all have a good night. Hope I'll see you guys on Tuesday. I will edit the first part of this stream out where we're just trying to sort out like technical issues. I'm sorry that it went that way tonight. I don't understand what was wrong. It's just unfortunate. Might get Dan Clancy following you. I don't know, I'd like that. Maybe I could finally, like, I'd be immune to the Twitch bans. Good night, everybody. Real quick, I probably should see if I can send you guys somewhere. I think Akko's still streaming. Yeah, we'll send you guys to Akko. And on Twitch... Also, tell me if Akko is about to cancel her stream and I won't do that. Oh, I can pop her... I can send you to her on Twitch. Yeah, they look like they're still going. So yeah, we'll send you to them on Twitch as well. Anyways, I love you all. You're fantastic peoples. Ba-ba-ba-ba. And good night.